All hail, great master, grave sir, hail! I come to answer thy best pleasure, be it to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled cloud, to thy strong bidding task, Ariel and all his quality. To every article I boarded the king's ship, now on the beak, now in the waist, the deck. In every cabin I flamed the amazement. Sometime I'll divide and burn in many places. On the topmast, the yards and bowsprit, I would flame distinctively, then meet and join. Jove's lightnings and the precursors of the dreadful thunderclasps, more momentarily, and sight outrunning were not. The fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring the most mighty Neptune seems to besiege and make his bold waves tremble. Yea, his dread trident shake. Not a soul, but felt a fever of the mad and played, some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged in the foaming brine, and quit the vessel, then all afire with me, the king's son, Ferdinand, with hair up staring, then like reeds, not hair, was the first man that leaped, cried, hell is empty, and the devils are here. Not a hair perished, on their sustaining garments not a blemish, but fresher than before, and as thou badest me, in troops I have dispersed them about the isle. The king's son have I landed by himself, whom I left cooling of the air with sighs, in an odd angle of the island sitting, his arms in this sad knot. Safely in harbour is the king's ship in the deep nook, where once thou calledst me up at midnight to fetch dew from the still vexed berth smooths. There she's hid, the mariners all under hatches stowed, who with a charm, joined to their suffered labour, I have left asleep. And for the rest of the fleet which I dispersed, they all have met again, and are upon the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing they have saw the king's ship wrecked, and his great person perish. Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me. I prithee, remember I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made thee no mistakings, served without grudge or grumblings. Thou didst promise to bait me a full year. You are 3 men of sin, whom destiny that hath to instrument this lower world, and what is in it, the never surfeited sea, hath cause to belch up you, and on this island where man doth not inhabit, you amongst men, being most unfit to live, I have made you mad, and even with such like valour men hang and drown their proper selves. You fools, I and my fellows are ministers of fate, the elements, of whom your swords are tempered, may as well wound the loud winds, or with bemicted stabs kill the still closing waters, as diminish one dwell that's in my plume. And fellow ministers are like invulnerable. If you could hurt, your swords are now too massy for your strengths, and will not be unlifted. But remember, for now that's my business up to you, that you 3 from Milan did supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea, which hath requited him and his innocent child, for which foul deed the powers delaying, not forgetting, have increased the seas and shores. Yea, all the creatures against your peace, thee of thy son, Alonso, they have bereft, and do not pronounce by me, lingering perdition. Worse than any death can be at once, shall step by step attend you and your ways, whose wraths to guard you from which here, in this most desolate isle, else falls upon your head. is nothing but heart's sorrow and a clear life ensuing. Before you can say come and go, and breathe twice and cry so, each one tripping on his toe will be here with mop and mow. Do you love me, master? No? I, my commander, when I presented Ceres, I thought to have told thee of it, but I feared lest I might anger thee. I told you, sir, they were red hot with drinking, so fun of valour that they smote the air for breathing in their faces, beat the ground for kissing of their feet, yet always bending toward their project. Then I beat my tabor, at which like unbacked colts they pricked their ears, advancing their eyelids lifted up their noses as they smelt music. So I charmed their ears, that calf-like they my lowing followed through toothed briars, sharp furzes, pricking goss and thorns, which entered their frail shins. At last I left them in the filthy mantled pool beyond your cell, there dancing up to the chins, that foul lake o'er-sunk their feet, confined together in the same fashion as you gave in charge just as you left them, all prisoners, sir, in the lion grove which weather fens yourself. They cannot budge till you release. The king, his brother, and yours abide all three distracted, and the remainder mourning over them, brimful of sorrow and dismay. But chiefly him that teamed you, sir, the good old Lord Gonzalo, his tears run down his beard like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. Your charm so strongly works them, that if you now behold them, your affections would become